She doesn't just talk racist, she is racist. Doesn't want her hanging around a black kid. And one child even hanged herself in fear of this sister's fury. What's up, my dear viewers, and welcome to Biro Show. Today we're diving into one of the darkest corners in TV and cinema. The characters that made audiences furious, uncomfortable, and sometimes even shocked. Get ready because we are breaking down the most racist characters in movies and shows. Number 4, we have Billy Hargrove from Stranger Things. The hottest guy in Hawkins and the coldest toward Locust. So who is Billy Hargrove? Billy rolls into Hawkins like the final boss of high school bullies. He is loud, cocky, and permanently angry. Like someone took every 80s bad boy stereotype and injected it with rage and hair gel. And while everybody else is fighting monsters from the upside down, Billy's biggest enemy is basic human decency. And let's be real, Billy's beef with Locust isn't just about protecting his sister Max. He flat out doesn't want her hanging around a black kid. You can see it in how he talks to Locust. Cold, aggressive, condescending, like he's not even hiding it. That stay away from my sister scene, yeah, that wasn't protective. That was textbook racism with a side of insecurity. He doesn't say the N-word, but the tension in those scenes screams it louder than any word could. The show hints that Billy's father was abusive and racist too. So Billy basically became a product of that hate. He learned it, copied it, and then took it out on anyone who didn't fit his father's idea of normal. Does that excuse it? Nah, but it explains why he's such a walking ball of anger. By the end, Billy gets possessed by the Mind Flayer, which honestly might be the only thing more toxic than his personality, but in his final moments, he redeems himself. He sacrifices his life to save Max and the kids, including Locust. It's the first time he actually stands against the darkness, both literal and emotional. He started as a racist bully, ended as a tragic hero, which is great and all, but let's be real, Locust deserved better the whole time. In number 4, we have Hank Schrader, the DEA agent who is brave, funny, and a little too comfortable making jokes about his Mexican friend. So who is Hank Schrader? That's a really weird question. Like, I think everybody knows him. He's loud, confident, charismatic, and thinks he's the funniest man alive. Problem is, half his jokes would get him cancelled today. He constantly teases his partner, Joe Gomez. What? Who's Joe Gomez? What the? Stephen Gomez. He constantly teases his partner, Stephen Gomez, calling him names like Gomi or throwing in border jokes every time Mexico comes up. He will say stuff like, I didn't know you people were so sensitive, Gomi. Or, what? Your cousins run this cartel. And Gomez just stands there like, I get paid to put up with this guy. Now, Hanks thinks it's harmless joking, just guy talk. But that's the point. His casual racism shows how normalized bias can be in tough guy environments like law enforcement. It's not violent or hateful, but it is ignorant. And it says a lot about how Hank sees the world. He's the type who would say, I'm not racist, I have a Mexican partner, while literally making a Mexican joke. The writers meant for Hank to be like this. Not to make you hate him, but to make him real. He is flawed, old school, and yet, despite all that, he grows. By the end, he respects Gomez as his equal, not just as the partner he jokes with. So yeah, Hank Schrader, the man, the myth, the guy who thought racist jokes were personality traits. He might have been brave, but someone should have told him, bro, being funny doesn't mean being offensive. Anyway, shout out to Gomi, the real MVP for putting up with all that. Number 3. The Nun from Peaky Blinders. The worst sister act ever. She is the Mother Superior at St. Hilda's Orphanage, a Catholic institution in Mosley. But instead of spreading love and kindness, she is spreading fear and cruelty. Tommy and Polly confront her after receiving reports of severe mistreatment at the orphanage. The kids have been subjected to physical abuse, and one child even hanged herself in fear of this sister's fury. When confronted, the Mother Superior tries to justify her actions by claiming the children are the worst of the worst. Yeah, because abusing vulnerable kids is totally justified when they are bad, right? Tommy and Polly don't take kindly to her excuses. Tommy breaks her glasses and tells her to put them on, forcing her to see the broken world she created. Polly threatens her life, saying she will be wearing high heels so the nun can hear her footsteps coming. It's a power move, and it's chilling. Tommy withdraws all funding from the orphanage, and Polly makes it clear that all the children will be taken into Shelby's company institutions. The nuns have no say in the matter. It's a classic Shelby power play. Mess with the kids, and you mess with the fucking Peaky Blinders. Number 2. Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, that guy. The serial killer who wasn't just creepy, but also super racist. Almost all of Dahmer's victims were black or brown men, especially from marginalized communities. People started noticing a pattern. It wasn't random. He specifically targeted men of color, often promising money or photo shoots to lure them in. So yeah, not exactly a coincidence. Racism also showed up in how the system handled it. Neighbors complained for months about weird smells and screaming, but cops basically said, eh, 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 it's fine. One time, they even returned a 14-year-old boy to Dahmer after he escaped, because Dahmer told them it was just a lover's quarrel. If that kid hadn't just been Asian and poor, the response probably would have been very different. It's not just that Dahmer targeted minorities, it's that he dehumanized them. He saw them as objects, not people. And the fact that he picked mostly men of color shows his violence wasn't just about power or desire. It had a clear racial undertone. So yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't just a murderer. He was a racist predator who used his privilege and charm to get away with it for years. So evil doesn't always look scary. Sometimes it just looks like a creepy white guy with glasses. And finally, number 1, we have Stormfront from The Boys. The superhero who is literally a Nazi. We are talking about The Boys' most shocking villain. And no, it's not Homelander. It's the flying, lightning-throwing racist from The Boys. So, plot twist, Stormfront wasn't born in America. She was Clara Resinger, or Resingen, or something like this, born in Nazi Germany. She was basically the first superhero created by Vogue, a company that literally started with Nazi science. Stormfront acts like she's just telling the truth and fighting for freedom. But what she's really doing is dropping white supremacist lines wrapped in influencer quotes. She talks about keeping the race pure, saving the world, and replacing us. She doesn't just talk racist, she is racist. murders people of color without a second thought, uses social media to spread hate like it's a brand deal, tries to make Homelander join her little Aryan Avengers. Basically, she is what happens when a Nazi discovers TikTok. Everything about her, her origin, her targets, her speeches, screams white supremacy. She is the physical embodiment of racism with lightning powers. She literally tells people she wants to build a superior race. She literally tells people she wants to build a superior race. Like, lady, this isn't 1942. Calm down. My dear viewers, we have reached the end of the episode. These characters might be fictional, but the racism they show is so fucking real and worth talking about. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell me in the comments, who do you think is the most racist character ever on screen? See you in the next one. Have a nice day. Finally, man.